There are three key reasons that Labor says it no longer has any confidence in Premier Jeremy Rockliff's ability to govern the state. So the first reason is the state of the finances in Tasmania. The government last week unveiled its latest budget, and it showed the debt over the next 4 years will almost double to $10.8 billion. And by that stage, the amount of interest that Tasmanians will have to pay each year will be in the order of $650 million. The budget books showed there was no surpluses over the next 4 years. Only deficits. The government says it's on a sensible path towards surpluses by the end of the decade, but Labor says that's not good enough. Indeed, they say this is the worst budget in Tasmania's history. The second reason that Labor is pushing on with this motion of no confidence is that the government plans to try and bring down some of that debt by selling off publicly owned companies in Tasmania. Things like it may well go down this track with things like the ports or Tas networks, the cables and wires, those kind of things, and the bus service as well. Labor says it's opposed to the prospect of privatisation. And the third reason that Labor has put forward relates to the government's handling of major projects, and it points specifically to the debacle surrounding the replacement of the Spirit of Tasmania ferries that operate on Bass Strait. Those new ferries are over time, long overdue, and hundreds of millions of dollars over budget. So Labor says those three things are reason enough to kick out the Liberal leader.
If I just sit back and allow this chaos and dysfunction to continue, I'm just as complicit as the Premier, and that goes for the House. We cannot, in good conscience, support this Premier. I would never forgive myself if I was complicit in the debt and deficits being built up. The Premier is sending Tasmania broke, and he's not even prepared to admit that he's got a problem.
Hand on heart, can say to you that I have fought more for vulnerable people in this place than the Labor Party could ever dream of. And particularly the person that resumes his seat, the Leader of the Opposition, who has demonstrated in the last 24 hours that you are not ready to govern, that you are a weak leader, that you are prepared to jeopardise Tasmania's future and the stability of this parliament. You have, by your reckless behaviour today and your weak leadership, decided that you are more important than Tasmanians.
So, Jono, what are the chances that this motion of no confidence will succeed?
It's looking increasingly likely. The fact that Labor has decided to actually move this motion today shows that they think they have enough support. And indeed, during debate today, the Premier has even reflected on his own chances of remaining as Premier, and at one point said, it might not end well for me today. So he seems to think he may not be Premier by the end of the day. Now, all of this came about earlier today after the Greens confirmed that they would support this motion of no confidence. Dean Winter, the Labor leader, had flagged it yesterday. He'd tabled the motion but said he needed enough support on the floor to reach the point of moving the motion. Yesterday he got 3 votes confirmed from the 3 of the 6 crossbenchers. That meant he had 13 because Labor has 10 itself. And then today, with the Green support, that reached the critical number of 18. So very likely, once this goes to a vote at some point later today, and that could take potentially many hours until it goes to a vote, it's very likely that it will succeed.
And what happens then if the motion of no confidence is successful? Could there be an early election?
There could well be an early election, and that's something that the Premier has threatened. He says that Labor wants to take the state to an election just 15 months after everyone went to the ballot boxes back in March last year. Now, ordinarily the convention is that if the subject of a motion of no confidence if that motion of no confidence is successful in that person, they would ordinarily, by convention, resign from their position, and that would mean the Liberals would then elect a new leader, and that new leader would test supply and confidence on the floor of Parliament, would try and have some agreements in place with some of the cross benches Whether or not that happens, we just don't know, but it would seem, based on some of the statements from the Premier, that his chosen path would be to go to the Governor and seek an early election. Now, one interesting quirk is that the Governor isn't actually in Tasmania at the moment. There is a Lieutenant Governor who is filling in, so it'd be up to that Lieutenant Governor to decide whether or not Tasmanians go to the polls, if that was the course that Jeremy Rockliff chose to take.
Okay, we'll keep across this during the afternoon. Jono, thank you.